Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's episode as we take on West Ham United in both legs of the Carabao Cup semi-final. In between those two games, we have an FA Cup game against Maidstone United, so a slightly different pace in that game and hopefully a nice win for us. But of course today the focus is getting to the final of the League Cup and hopefully we can do it. If you think we can, drop a like on the video for me and subscribe if you're new around 10. Leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. If you don't think we can win it and we're going to bottle it like last season, also drop a like please. But last season's bottle was pretty big. We were 1-1 in the first leg working with Brighton. We then went 1-0 up in the second leg and then conceded 2 goals in the 92nd and 93rd minute. Oh God, it's sickening thinking about it again. Oh, give me a moment. But before we get into these games, a couple of things to talk about. And I think we'll just go through the results from in between episodes first of all. We played 3 games, as you can see, and they weren't the greatest of results. But given the circumstances, not too bad. The West Brom game came literally 2 days after the Wolves game. And because everyone was so tired from the Wolves game, we actually switched back to wingers for this game. And it worked to an extent. We didn't lose, which was quite good. But we didn't win either. A 1-1 draw, fair enough. We then went to Brighton and got a 0-0 draw, which actually is quite good given that Brighton are a Champions League team. Following that, we played Crystal Palace at home and got a 2-1 win, with Greco being sent off in the 93rd minute for 2 yellow cards. Also, in the Brighton game, I should say as well, Spadina picked up an injury for a month or so. So Spadina is out for a little bit, which is obviously not quite ideal. As for the league table, well, it leaves us in 6th place right now. 2 points behind Everton and 3 points behind Brighton. Did they get through their Champions League group, by the way? Champions League Group A, they did. Amazing stuff. But we shouldn't really be looking up, we should be looking down. Leicester level on points, West Ham 1 point behind us, Liverpool 2 points behind us, 5 points behind us are Newcastle, 6 points behind us are Man United. It's pretty tight between 6th and 11th. We also have some money to spend. We're in January right now and we need to look to spend some of the £62 million that we have in the budget. Potentially some players leaving the clubs, potentially wingers leaving the club. 2 players are leaving on loan if we just hide the inactive deals here. You can see that Ewan and Carlos Andre are both heading out on loan, I would say, for the rest of the season on the grounds that we're not going to play wingers much this season. So we may as well get them out playing on loan for a decent chunk. Also, Sione no longer wants to leave the club, so we don't have to worry about selling him if bids get to £21.5 million. So I'm pretty happy to keep him at the club, to be fair. But Greco also came and said he wanted to leave the club. He'll leave if a bid of £27 million has been reached, like Ostergaard's £18 million, but I can't see either of them having those bids matched. But potentially it could be a good time to look to the future, so we might look at some players later on. As for the team today, well, this is what we are going to go for. As for the team, this is what we're going to go for today. Mantle starting in goal with a backline of Garcia, Felipe, Saliba and Neto. Lavia just in front of them with a midfield trio of Patrick, Kamara and Sousa. Panayotov is coming back from injury, just not fit enough to play this game. Pepe starts as the advance forward and Pereira as the false 9. Now, some of you are saying in the comment section that I should swap these two guys around in their roles. I don't really want to, because Pepe has got a left foot, plays on the left-hand side of the strike force, and has got 5 goals and 16 in the league, but 11 in all competitions. I think that's a pretty decent return, to be fair. And Pereira is bagging up the assists. 5 and 5 in 20 appearances so far this season, but 9 and 8 in all competitions. And guess what? He has just won European Golden Boy, which is a pretty impressive achievement. Also like the best under 21 player as well. So he's doing something good, and most of that has been done whilst being in that false 9 position. So for me, very happy. Of course, we could swap them over for Pepe to be a deep-lying forward, for example, and Pereira a advanced forward. It makes a little bit more sense for Pereira to be that forward because he's got such great pace, dribbling, finishing, first touch. I get it. I understand why he should be that. But he's also getting the returns as a false 9. So I kind of want to keep him like that too. We'll see how the season goes on, but right now I'm happy with those two in their dynamic partnership. I mean, we could potentially get a few more goals out of them in a slightly different combination, but it's working. I don't really want to risk it too much. Anyway, kickoff is upon us here today for this first leg of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup semi-final, away from home in the first leg. And I mean, we just need to have a positive result. If we can just like, and when I say positive result, I mean just don't lose by a big margin. Like, we can win at home. I know we can win at home. So if we can come here and get a draw or lose 1-0 or something like that, I'd be happy. I'd also be happy if Pepe actually finishes chances like that sometimes. He is a little bit infuriating in those instances where he is through and just doesn't quite get the goal on target, or the shot in the back of the goal. What am I trying to say? He doesn't score, basically. It's just a bit frustrating. That happens a little bit too often for my liking. But also, we have the Wrexham stats in the middle. We don't need the Wrexham stats up here. So what I might do is get the positional heat map for, not West Ham. I don't really want West Ham's positional heat map. Hopefully we can get Wrexham's positional heat map up in a second. I'll see if I can find the right tab for it. But in the meantime, we have Daniel Patrick. Although actually the positional heat map for West Ham would be quite handy to know how to counter it. Potential. Oh, I'm kind of tempted by it, actually. We might get both of them up on that right-hand side instead. Because I've realised actually having their team lineups there is not really the greatest of use to us. I think the positional heat maps might be quite handy for us, as the ball is sent out wide to Suarez, who puts it into the middle, and West Ham with their first real chance of the game, luckily don't score. Although there's a highlight straight after that as Saliba finds Luis Felipe into Lavia. Lavia into Vasco, and Vasco can lose possession. Luckily, we do win it at the back instead after West Ham tried to get it forward a little bit too quickly. Sousa now does get it to Neto, who gets it forward to Pereira, and Pereira can get it back to Vasco. Pepe looking to sort of make the run a little bit, can't quite get the run, although this time doesn't win the ball though. You hate to see it, but this highlight feels like a long highlight. It feels like a goal highlight. Will it be a goal for us or for West Ham? Be typical if they tackle us right now and go and score at the end of the pitch. But Luis Felipe brings it into the West Ham half before sending it back into our own half. But we do start to bring it forward through the centre of the pitch. Pereira playing quite deep, but 4 players ahead of him. Vasco is one of them, and he puts it in the back of the net. Now, the linesman flag is up. I can't say I was watching too closely for offside. I have no idea if this is offside or not, and the goal has been disallowed. Let's see the replay on this one then. How close was this? Oh, that's agonising. No, I'm not having that. Oh, I can't zoom any closer than this, I'm afraid. But I guess Diop, I mean, we might sit slightly better in the 2D engine. That's on what we're looking for. I want sideline replays 2D. See, on the 2D camera, I can't go any further than this, but you can see that Vasco in the 2D match engine is offside, so that might be it, you know. Also, I missed the 2D hybrid as well. That was quite a cool thing they had when you had the crowds as well as a 2D thing. I quite like that. That doesn't seem to be there anymore, but I won't cry. Well, not much at least anyway. Free kick for West Ham. Not in the back of a net, but Mantle had to make a decent save there. Otherwise, that was in the back of the net. To be fair, there are quite a few highlights in this first half for both teams, and I feel like a goal is going to come for one of them any moment now. And I feel like it's going to be West Ham, isn't it? We're going to be behind in this game. I can just sort of feel that. But we do have a chance to come forward as Vasco Sousa just loses possession stupidly. The ball is cleared, and that was a really good opportunity for us, but we just... In fact, weirdly, it was Vasco Sousa's first touch that let him down there, despite him having 17 first touch, so not the greatest of moves from him right there, as Daniel Patrick into Lavia. Lavia forward now to Daniel Patrick into Pepe, who this time puts it in the back of the net, but I think this one was also offside, if I'm honest with you. This looked a lot more clear-cut offside than the Vasco goal, and I believe it will be offside because it looked pretty clear-cut, and I don't think we need to go to the 2D engine for this one. This one looked pretty clear to me, as the ball is... It's closer than I thought, actually, to be fair, but quite a clear margin offside. So, 2 disallowed goals in this first half for us. That does feel a little bit harsh, particularly because West Ham are well on top in this game, so those 2 goals would have done the world of good. Sadly for us, we can't focus on that quite so much, as Neto finds Saliba. Saliba turns his man into Pereira, who can get it back into Neto. Neto now forced back to Mantle, the keeper. Sends it long, over the top, won by Diop. Back to the keeper, who clears it not very far, but West Ham are looking to come forward now down the right-hand side of the pitch. Ball over the top to Bowen is good, who wins it, plays it square into Suarez, who heads it down to the marauding left-back, and now plays it forward to Suarez once again. I told you I could feel a goal coming from one of these 2 teams. And somehow that's not in the back of a net. Blimey, how's that not gone in there? This first half is all about missed opportunities and offsides. All about it. So, second half underway then, and hopefully, I thought Diep had just given the ball there to Pepe. Not quite, as we need to sort out the heat maps in a second as well. I forgot to do that in the rest of the first half, in my excitement with all of the disallowed goals. Luckily for us, we don't have to celebrate or get cross or sad about a goal there for West Ham, as Bowen's shot is wide of the mark. I want the possessional heat map for Wrexham. There we go. But actually, the possessional heat map for West Ham might be quite useful too. So you can see, actually, we are countering them quite well with our defensive shape, actually. And given they've got two quite wide midfielders, I think our two strikers are combating their two centre-backs quite nicely, and their sort of wing-backs aren't really getting involved too much. But good to see it seems to be working as the corner comes in for West Ham and Diop grabs the goal. His first of the season, which is frustrating. I mean, if we'd just been a little bit more slick with our passing, it could be 2-1, you know. It really could be 2-1. But I think West Ham do deserve the goal. The match stats are 17 shots to West Ham, 3 to us. You can't say it wasn't coming. And so with 20 minutes to go, I'm tempted to make some changes in a moment's time. But I think we do have enough about us to get ourselves back in this game. We've seen us score 2 goals. We know we can do it. They were just offside. If we can just keep ourselves onside like Sousa is there, I think we'll bring him off the pitch because, not that miss, I think we'll bring him off the pitch, not because of that miss, but he is quite tired, to be fair. So we'll bring him off for Panayotov, who's going to come on the pitch. Pepe is going to come off for Sione. I tell you what, let's make Pereira that advance forward on attack, and let's try Sione as the deep lying forward on support. Let's just try that one out a little bit. They're the 2 changes. Neto will come off for Bernal as well. Neto not having a great game out there with 15 minutes or so to go in this one. I'm going to shout demand more. I'm going to go a little bit more attacking. If we can just grab a goal, that would be great. But like I said, even if we just lose this game 1-0, I thought I jinxed it then. I'm not going to be too upset because I'm pretty sure we can come to our place and give these guys a good hiding. But we've lost the first leg 1-0. It's not a bottling if we lose both legs. It's not a bottling if we lose both legs, Tom. Bids coming in for Luciao, who's just come back from his loan spell in Palmeiras. Had a good loan spell, to be fair, but I don't think he's the man to take us to the next level. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him, but I just don't think he's the one, especially given that he is a winger, right? Not big price points, though. I offered him out for £30 million, to be fair, which he's not very happy about, which I understand because he's only valued like 25 million. But if we can offer him to clubs for about... we've got a continental release fee clause of 30 million, to be fair, but I'd take 20 million. I'd take 20 million. I tell you what, one player that I would quite like to bring into the team is Frank Nice. I think we've spoken about him before, and actually he's just changed to a wonder kid in his media description. He does look very good. I'll give him that. He does look very good. His finishing is only 10, which for me means he should be quite the false 9, to be fair. Although his vision and teamwork is a little bit low, we can work on that, I'm sure. I think he would be a great player. It would also mean that Sione could leave the club, but 2 strikers would be quite handy as backups. And of course, with potential, we could improve this guy quite significantly. So I'd like to make a bid. Looks like the release fee clause is £25.5 million, which I think we could afford. We could do with another striker. We only have 3, and we start 2. So another one would be quite handy, to be fair. If we ask agent about the availability, he says 25 million because that's his release fee clause. Big contract, to be fair, but I think we do need to bolster our strike force just a little bit, get an extra player in there. If it's for a wonder kid, I'm happy. Let's make the deal. Offer has been accepted. He'd rather join Dortmund, Bayern, but not Tottenham because they are still bottom of the Premier League table, by the way, which is not going quite well for them. But as a squad player, he'd be happy to join us. I'm happy with that sort of playing time as well. Finalise those promises. I think we have to sort of give him what he wants to an extent. He wants some big wages, so let's try and get rid of the future ways for him to make money. I'd happily leave in the release fee clause of I mean, if we could put it up to 100 million, right, I'd happily leave that in there for Champions League teams, essentially. He won't like me dropping the wage down, though, so let's see how angry he gets. Oh, quite angry, to be fair. Not too angry, but does want a lot more money. 60. It's a lot to pay for him, but I think he could be world-class for us, and it would allow us to play Pereira as that more advanced forward as well, which is another big bonus for us. He wants some big appearance fees, though, and goal bonuses, and assist bonuses. Okay, let's try that. He likes the bonuses, not the wage. He now likes the wage. It's a big contract for a 20-year-old, but I think for the 20-year-old who's already got a cap for Belgium, it's probably a good deal. Also, bids for Luciao being made. It's not quite 20 million, and they do want us to pay wages too. When does contract expire? Next season. You know what? We could maybe afford it a little bit, couldn't we? We could maybe afford it, but they're not paying enough money, are they? If we could get like 15 out flat, well, nah, let's go 17.5. Let's just see if we can get that. And again, the bids have actually gone down, weirdly, and the asking wage has gone up a little bit, which is frustrating. So I'm not in like a huge rush to sell him, but I don't know, he's upset with me that he's not allowed to leave the club. The valuation is not close enough for you, lad, and he wants to leave for 27 million. I'll confirm that in there, that's fine. Because no one's going to bid 27 million. I'm pretty convinced of that. PSV have got to 12 and nearly 13, not enough. I don't know, I'll think about it still. I'm not overly fussed about selling it. It's just if the right club came in at the right price, as Bayern Munich and Dortmund have both made contracts to Frank Nice. Okay, well, I don't think there's much more we could do with that, to be fair. I mean, I do quite want him at the club. If we change the contract offer and should give him an extra $5,000 a week, that might sweeten the deal. In the meantime, we have got Maidstone United coming up in the FA Cup third round. And this feels like a game we've not had for a long time, like a team from a lot lower down in a cup competition. I don't think they're even in the Football League, as Brentford make a terrible bid for Luciao, so we will be rejecting that. Oh no, Maidstone are in League 2, to be fair. Fair play to them. They've obviously done quite well for themselves and got themselves into League 2. Where did they finish? They won the National League. In fact, they won League 2 in 2028. Hang on a second. So they won promotion from the National League in 24-25 and had 2 decent seasons building in League 2, then won it, then got relegated, then finished 12th last season. So they've been up and down, Maidstone. Fair play. So maybe I'm not giving them enough credit heading into this game then. But what I think we will do is rotate massively. We also have 3 suspensions for this game as well in Felipe, Patrick and Suntesic. So we will swap formations. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to go to pick rotated team, full rotation, just so it can do it for me. Because I do want to play young players in this team. Right. Let's have a look at it. Well, Hector Garcia is starting at left back as the only person who sort of can play at left back at the moment thanks to suspensions and injuries to other players. Can anyone else drop in there? Not really. No. Well, Garcia is at left back then with Ostergaard, Greco and Neto in the back line. Have we not got anyone else to play at right back? Like Bernal could drop in there. He's CDM though, isn't he? Although he could drop into there, because Ostergaard's at centre-back, isn't he? We could do with another centre-back coming in this transfer window, actually, thinking about it, maybe. Another centre-back would be quite handy. Sousa and Paniotov in the middle, with Hobson, Weeks and Sione leading the line. I feel like we should be getting Ewan on the left-hand side, but Hobson's not played much at all, has he? He needs the game time. Thad can play on the right. In fact, can Weeks play on the left? I tell you what, I'm going to put Thad on the right, on the left. Yeah, on the left. He can play as an inverted winger, which is what we'll do. Inverted winger on support. Weeks will go there as the inside forward on attack. That seems alright to me. Just want to get these youngsters playing a bit of football, that's all. So, as kickoff is upon us here today, watch us now lose it. Watch us now lose this one comfortably against Maidstone with a slightly weaker team, although it's still a Premier League quality team in my opinion. So, first highlight of the game then. Paniotov on the ball, plays it down to Garcia, who gets it into Thad Davis, one of his first touches of this game. Is forced backwards into Ostergaard, who plays it into Greco, but Greco forward to Bernal. Bernal over the top towards Sione, cut out by the Maidstone defenders there. Quite well cut out, I must say, by those guys, as they now look to build down the left-hand side of the pitch. This Beck guy is leaving everyone for pace right now, and if he can get a ball into the middle, he can't. Weeks gets back with the challenge, but it's still coming at us from the clearance as they get the ball into the box, and Pineda forced to make a good save. Okay, maybe we aren't respecting Maidstone enough. Maybe we have got a little bit too easy on them, and we need to really think about what we're going to do for the rest of this game. We've not seen anything in our favour so far this game. But as the ball is sent long, it's over the top. They're in again, luckily not scoring. Maidstone are firing warning shots. They are firing warning shots here today. And I'll tell you what, I'm not here for it. I don't like it. Can we please get a goal before half time? Otherwise, I will start to worry and panic a little bit. Come on, lads. Let's get a goal. I think it might be time to worry and panic. And interestingly, on their heat map, they're playing very, very compactly and narrowly. They're countering us really well. So we need a big reaction here in the second half. I know we've got some tired faces on the pitch, notably Garcia and Neto and Sousa, but we do need to actually score. We might have to bring some big guns on in a second. And again, maybe this is an indication that wingers just aren't working for us. I mean, Thad Davis and Weeks should be walking all over Maidstone United. Yes, they may not quite be the Premier League talents yet, but they should be walking all over Maidstone. And I'd rather not go to a replay because that replay would be frustrating. Let's bring Pereira on. Let's bring Laurie Hobson on, and let's bring Ewan on, all in attack. Also, we are going to shout demand more here. Let's try and get this game done before 90 minutes, because a replay is not what we want at all. We do not need an extra game in our schedule. But with Hobson finding a ball through, not quite to Pereira, Marshall, the keeper, collects that one fairly comfortably ahead of Pereira, but the highlight does continue. His clearance goes all the way through to Neto. Neto collects it comfortably, sends it into Ostergaard, out wide to Garcia, and now back to Ostergaard, who can just play it along this back line as we slowly start to bring the ball forward. Paniotov over the top to Pereira, who finishes it off for his 10th of the season. The European Golden Boy gets the goal against Maidstone. All right, let's not get too excited about it, but Maidstone, who were in League One a couple of seasons ago, so they're not a bad side at all. They've done very well for themselves, but two of our best young players ever combining there to score a world-class goal. Paniotov back in the team, Paniotov getting assists. You love to see it. It's like he was never missing for a whole month or so through injury. Hopefully we can just seal this game out now, and if Paniotov wants to score a goal, he can do. He didn't quite score that one. Ewan, though, in the area, turns into Garcia, scores a second goal. Come on, you love to see it. Also, Garcia's first goal for the club as well. I'm sure he'll be happy. Also extremely tired as well. He needs to have a good rest, and I think actually as well, I think next game, Suntesic might be back from injury. More likely Spadina will end up playing against West Ham as we need to get the win, but we can't really play a tired Hector Garcia. Hobson then into Neto. Neto tries to get it forward, but not quite reaching Hobson, who's brought down in the area after the second ball. That's a penalty which Ostergaard was sprinting towards. He's taking it. I know he does have good penalty-taking attributes, but I didn't think he was ahead of Pereira in the penalty-taking attribute list thing. Either way, he scored, so it doesn't matter. Brilliant. You love to see it. 3-0 in the end then. Late goals from us, but we did get the win at least, and comfortably in the end too. So very pleased with that. Hopefully, going to give us some nice momentum heading into this next cup game, which is in 4 days' time. Okay, we need to rest these players ASAP to make sure they're fully fit. I mean, of course, we did rotate the team quite heavily, didn't we? But still, it would be good to have the players who need the rest to get rested. Pereira could also do with a rest, apparently. He's quite tired. You can have the rest soonish, but you are a very good striker. Garcia, obviously, with the goal there as well. And I think picked up a little knock in that game. As Barnsley wants Sione on loan. No, not a chance, especially not for absolutely free. Whereas Blackburn want Weeks, not as a squad player. He stays with us. Also, Ewan about to leave the club to go on loan to Reading. Played that last game for us, was maybe not the greatest, obviously, so he will be on his way. Also, £21 million for Mantle, who wants to speak to Hertha Berlin. How much do we buy him for? No. You've been at half a season. You're not going. We need you. Now, he is very cross with me as well. What we'll say to him is that they need to come back with a more reasonable bid. He says 37.5 million. If we could get to 40, which I don't think he'll like, 39.5 he does like. Okay, that's quite good. Can't imagine clubs putting a £39.5 million bid in for him, but we'll see. No, not happening. Also, Leicester in the 4th round of the FA Cup. That's a bit more of a difficult tie. Anyway, let's not talk about the FA Cup. We need to focus on the EFL Cup. And actually, winning this is super, super important this season because of how European qualification works. You see, we are currently in, if we can see it, 6th place right now. If we also look at the table, we can see that West Ham are 8th. You can see that Burnley are 16th. You can see that Aston Villa are in the relegation zone, right? The winner of this gets a place in a European competition of this cup. Now, if West Ham or us win it and we finish in the top 7, that's fine. But Villa and Burnley won't. And if they win it and get the European place, it takes it away from 7th in the league. And 7th is probably the best we can hope for, really. So, if we end up losing, then it's not good for us, especially if we come 7th in the table and miss out on European football again. We're going to go back to the narrow formation, though. We are going to pick the first choice team that we have for it, and everyone's kind of back, actually. Suntetic still a bit injured. I think, actually, we'll end up playing. Spadina's injured. Hector Garcia's got to play. Got to play, sadly for him, even though he's very, very injured and tired. We'll bring Thad Davies onto the bench there. That's the team. It's the strongest team that we have. Let's submit it. And let's go to the game. So, kickoff is upon us. We need to get a result here. We need to get a 2-0 win. That's what we need. I know we can do it because we are good, but West Ham don't put the ball in the back of the net. They scored from a corner in the first leg. I thought they could do the same again. Diop is a big lad at the back and he's great at winning headers. Hopefully, though, we're going to stop him for the rest of this game as the highlight is continuing. The ball thrown out to Neto on this near side of the pitch as he finds a bit of room to run forward. The ball to Pereira is good. Back to Neto. Neto through to Panayotov, and Panayotov can give us the lead in this game very early on, but it gives us the opportunities and chances we need now to get the second goal to end up in the final. Great stuff from us early in this game, and Panayotov starts here. Look at this move. Panayotov starts here. The deepest of the players in the attack right now. And then all of a sudden, just keeps running and ends up being the most advanced man. Great run from him there, to be fair. And it's that centre mid on attack duty where they just run. They just run and don't stop until they're in the goal mouth, basically. It's been super, super effective for us. I love it to pieces. It's such a good formation, this. And we are working it to the absolute best right now, particularly with Panayotov through the middle. As the rest of this first half ticks on, though, we're not seeing much until we do in this highlight where I think Garcia's got himself a straight red card. What was he playing at? What was he playing at? Well, in that instance, we drop to a one-striker system. And Suntetic is going to have to come on for Pepe. That's the only way I think we can hold ourselves defensively, but still have the offensive options to go there and score a goal. Now, Villa are dominating Burnley. Looks like they are going to be 5-2 up on aggregate. So it's looking good for Villa to be in the final. I think we can beat them. We need to get to the final, though. We need to get there. A big 45 minutes coming up. We have been the better team in terms of most match metrics, to be fair. So hopefully we can just see this out. I'm going to shout demand more And players have reacted well to that. Tesic on his first game back for the club, actually, this one for a long time since he got injured. So a big test for him today as Pereira is through. And Pereira, can't score the goal. You hate to see it. That was a golden opportunity for us. And he's not been able to finish that despite being around or surrounded by about 4 players there. So understandable. The corner is not put on goal. Pereira can collect the ball into Panayotov, who's in an offside position, and well, that's that. 30 minutes to go in this game. Extra time we do not need. We do not want extra time at all. I'm going to go a little bit more attacking with our stance. I'm also going to shout, encourage. We need to give this everything we've got, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Great interception from Tesic there. Panayotov now through the middle. Back to Luis Felipe just to get some better attacking shape potentially as Panayotov's not quite through. Poor defensive work there from West Ham, but they get away with it. Cleared only as far as Luis Felipe. Tesic, Daniel Patrick. Can he get on the overlap? Not quite. Tesic now into Luis Felipe. Luis Felipe back to Mansell. We are so patient with this build-up. And then we lose possession like that from a poor ball from Mansell. Should not have hoofed it up like that, to be fair. We're never going to win it with a small striker up top and 2 big centre-backs. And watch West Ham nearly score a goal because of it. That was too close for comfort, in my opinion. 15 minutes to go. We could make some changes. In terms of personnel, we might look to do it in a second or so as Tesic on the ball. If we get a goal right now, this would be glorious. What kind of a ball was that? I have no idea. Tesic looking for absolutely no one with that long ball forward. And it's West Ham who are coming on the attack. Phillips free in the middle, through to their striker, who's offside, I think anyway. Missed in the meantime. But yes, offside has been given on this near side of the pitch. Right. Who comes off? Who goes off? Daniel Patrick, poor, Kamara on the pitch. And this is maybe where we need some better substitutes, to be fair. Know what I'm looking at right now and thinking, wow, you're a game changer. Just the one change we'll make then. Just the one change we'll make. I'm going to shout, demand more when I get the chance in a moment's time. There we go. Shouted demand more. 5 minutes to go in this game. It looks like we might be going to extra time. I hope we're going to extra time based on what I'm seeing from this highlight at the moment. Neto with a good interception and Panayotov into Lavia, into Saliba, back to Vasco. Vasco over the top to Pereira. Pereira is through. Pereira puts it in the back of the net. The boy has done it. The European Golden Boy gets that one in the back of the net with 2 minutes to play in this game. I'll be honest, I doubted him. I was doubting him. At this instance here where he slowed right up, the defenders get ahead of him. I doubted him. I shouldn't have done though, should I? I should not have doubted him. He scores the goal, which looks like it might be taking us to the cup final. I'm going to switch up to Carraleros because I really do think we need to swap those guys around. Just so we can just shuttle the ball across, make sure we're just solid defensively. I think they're all offside. I think there were like 3 or 4 West Ham players offside there, if I'm honest with you. I'm pretty sure they were offside. Good. I wasn't panicking because I was pretty sure, look, in fact, 5 players in an offside position. That's how I knew I was confident this was not going to be counting as a goal. We've been let off there a little bit, and we're into a cup final. The first cup final, or major cup final, that we've been to. This is good. This is really good. And it looks like we're going to be playing Aston Villa in that final as we book our trip to Wembley. Now, Garcia is banned for a game. It's only going to count for the Premier League games. It was a straight red card, wasn't it? So that will be a 3-game ban, won't it? Also, yellow card limits for Neto and Patrick. So quite a few suspensions coming into play right now. But they won't affect the League Cup final, which is when? There. Against Aston Villa it will be. So I think next time we come back for... Chelsea at the end of February will be quite the test. I know we did them earlier on this season and we beat them. Could we do it again at their place? We'll find out. But we'll also find out if we're going to win the League Cup against Aston Villa. So I'll be honest, we made hard work of that. Really hard work of that. But we came through, we got the result, and we're in the cup final, which I'm very excited about. So join me tomorrow for the cup final. hopefully we get an insane result. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to drop a like on the video for me, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until tomorrow, have a good evening. Goodbye.